Shut up and sit down.
What's the story, people of the internet? Hope you're all having a wonderful day today. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. We've got a very busy episode this week of the minor midweek. So I'm just going to do a rundown of the weekend's football and then jump into the upcoming football, because we've got some interesting League Cup and a bit of German Super Cup coming up this week as well. So let's start off going through the Premier League. So Sheffield United again lose to Leeds 1-0. They just seem to not be able to replicate what they did last season. I'm not sure what it is. Leeds continue their impressive form, just keep on going from strength to strength. Only 1-0 this week, but I'm sure Bielsa will be happy with that. Tottenham Hotspur against Newcastle finished 1-1. I think it's another one of those controversial handball decisions. I do want to make a video coming up discussing that, because it does seem to be happening quite frequently, as we'll get into with the Brighton versus Manchester United match. So I do want to make a video about that separately. So, but yeah, Spurs won, Newcastle United won, so a very interesting result there. Manchester City 2, Leicester City 5. Jamie Vardy with a hat-trick, and if you haven't seen some of the goals in that, Jamie Vardy's little back heel scoop turn and Maddison's absolute rocket into the top corner were incredible. Definitely recommend checking those out. West Ham 4, Wolves 0. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Least of all myself. I predicted Wolves to walk away with that one. So, but that's the joy of the Premier League. You just never know what's going to happen. As I mentioned earlier, Brighton 2, Manchester United 3. A penalty that was given after the final whistle and then scored in about the 9th minute of extra time. So bit of a controversial ending there. Manchester United didn't play the best, but again, it eked out a result. Crystal Palace 1, Everton 2. I thought Everton would have won by a bit more, but they seemed to control the match, so there wasn't too much of a surprise there. West Brom just couldn't hold on to their 3-0 lead, and Chelsea ended up coming back and levelling 3-3. Very, very high scoring game though. And credit to Chelsea, because they looked dead in the water in the first half, especially with their leaky defence. And the attack just turned it on and just carried on. And then final game, Burnley 0, Southampton 1, Southampton scoring in the 4th minute and just holding on for the rest of the game. 2 matches I want to mention in the Bundesliga, or 3 matches, sorry. 3 matches I want to mention in the Bundesliga. Hoffenheim 4, Bayern Munich 1. Augsburg 2, Dortmund 0. So both of the big 2 losing this weekend. And then even Leverkusen played Leipzig and drew 1-1. Just a very topsy-turvy weekend in the Bundesliga this weekend. In the Serie A, we had Inter Milan beat Fiorentina 4-3, a very back and forth match, that one. Fiorentina were up, then Inter were up, and then Fiorentina went ahead again, and then Inter came back from 3-2 to win 4-3. Roma 2, Juventus 2, Cristiano Ronaldo scoring another goal, his 450th league goal across the leagues in Europe. And then another match I wanted to mention, I want to start doing a highlight of one of the leagues that's not the top 5, not the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga or Liga, is in the Turkish Super League, is the Istanbul derby, the Galatasaray versus Fenerbahce. Now it ended 0-0, so not big on scoring, but there were 11 yellow cards between the 2 teams. And I've already seen the pictures of the flares that were thrown onto the pitch, even though there really weren't supposed to be fans there. So typical Turkish league fire going on there, literally as well. So let's go through the week's upcoming matches. And before I start, all of these matches are on ESPN Plus if you have them. The German Super Cup may even be on ESPN. It wasn't very clear, but there's a possibility it might be on television, not just streaming. So in the League Cup on Tuesday, we've got Tottenham versus Chelsea, London derby. We've got Burnley versus Manchester City, Brighton will be looking for revenge against Manchester United. It'll be interesting to see how much they come out fighting, because I think they'll want to win this at all costs. And then we've got Everton versus West Ham, so all Premier League fixtures coming up there. We also have the German Super Cup that I mentioned earlier. That's Bayern Munich versus Borussia Dortmund. So it'll be interesting how those two react to losing over the weekend. And then in the League Cup again on Thursday, we have Liverpool against Arsenal. That one's going to be interesting because obviously we've seen them play a lot over the last couple of months, and we will see them play tomorrow. They play tomorrow in the Premier League, so it'll be the second time that they've played each other this week. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, having to play such a big match twice in a week. And tomorrow, just as a reminder, we also have Fulham versus Aston Villa, and that's on Peacock. So that and the Liverpool versus Arsenal match, both on Peacock there. So another one I just wanted to mention, not a huge match, but it is a bit of a derby match. We've got Vancouver versus Seattle. Obviously, Vancouver, Seattle and Portland are sort of the big rivals in the MLS. So that'll be coming up later on today. It'll probably be on either ESPN or Fox Soccer Channel. But those are the upcoming fixtures and a review of the weekend. One last little piece that I wanted to mention about the Southampton match yesterday, and it didn't come to fruition because it could have added an even more to this statistic. But since Hasenhüttl took over Southampton, no team has lost more points from a winning position than Southampton in the Premier League. They've lost 37 points since he took over, and he's not been in charge for that long. So it could have extended to 40 or to 39 if they had drawn or lost yesterday. But just another one of those outrageous statistics. As I mentioned earlier, I want to do a video going over VAR at some point in the next couple of weeks. I'll also be doing a transfer breakdown video sometime after the deadline. And I also want to make a video about what it means to be a fan in the modern game, and like how some fans are being quite toxic at the moment. Just give my take on that. So I'll wait for a quiet week for those 3 videos though, because they'll be topics on their own rather than lumping them in with football. So yeah, that's everything from me today. I hope everyone enjoys the week's worth of football, and I will be back on Friday for a rundown of next weekend's matches. So I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe, keeping out of trouble, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.